Today we're going to talk about consequences. Consequences are the negative thing that nobody likes to think about. When you do a certain thing, then if it's bad, there's going to be consequences. But did you also know if it's good, there's going to be consequences? So consequences can be both bad and good. So, say for instance, it's familiar to all of us talking in class. You might get detention, which is a pretty harsh consequence. You might get silent lunch, which is a usual consequence that we see a lot in school. And you've got to be able to live with these consequences. So, if talking in class is worth having silent lunch to you, then maybe you feel like talking in class is something appropriate to do. But when you get silent lunch because you're talking in class, don't get upset about it, because you know you did something wrong and you know there's going to be consequences. So, my first degree is in sales management. And there is something in business called a cost benefit analysis. And a cost benefit analysis is basically consequences, and looking at the consequences and asking yourself, is this worth it? So, as terrible as it might sound, if there's something wrong with something, then the manufacturers look at it and say, is this worth the cost to me to do a recall? And that is a terrible thing to look at, but that's what a cost benefit analysis is. So, another example that comes to my mind, if you're disrespectful to your parents, you don't do your chores, you don't do what your parents ask you to do, then I'm assuming some of y'all get spanked, which I'm not a fan of. I don't spank my daughter. I never have. I mean, she's only 2, but I don't plan on starting. However, you might get sent to your room. You might not get to do that fun thing that you had planned to do this weekend. And you just have to live with those consequences. There's an old saying that if you do the crime, you have to be prepared to do the time. Now, that saying is geared more toward if you do the crime of, say, robbing a bank and you get caught, you have to be prepared to do 5, 10, however many years in prison that they give you. So, everything in life comes with a consequence. Good or bad, there's always consequences, and you have to be able to live with those consequences. I mean, let's talk about good consequences for a second. Say you help somebody, like I've done this on several occasions. You go over, you cut somebody's grass, and they haven't asked you to. You help some older lady or gentleman with his groceries, help him carry them into the house. You might not get a tangible positive result. However, You're positive, meaning something you can touch, meaning they might say, "Hey, good job, thank you. I'm gonna give you a little money or something." They might, and that's great. But even if they don't, when you do something for somebody else, you feel good about yourself. That is your positive consequence. That is your positive result of that situation. Feeling good about yourself. I told everybody in class, um, when I went to Steed's Dairy with my daughter, um, it was fun. It was kind of hot because it was the end of last summer. But um, the truck that I pulled up next to, I saw the couple that got out of the truck, but when they walked away and they didn't realize it, there was $100 bill under their truck, and so I saw the $100 bill, and I grabbed it and I went to go find this couple in Steed's Dairy, and I said, did you drop some money under your truck? And they said, yeah, or yes, we did. And I gave them the $100. I said, well, I found the money. Now they didn't give me any money, which is fine. It would have been nice if they did, to be honest, but they didn't, and that's okay because I felt really good about myself. I mean, that was $100. That could be the difference between being able to pay your rent, pay your mortgage, get groceries, or not. That's a really big deal. But even if it's not a big deal, you should always do the right thing. That's responsibility, that's integrity. Do the right thing. So, everybody, until next time, do the right thing, and I'll see you later.